Hello everybody, welcome to another product review by Watchful Studio. Today we're going to be looking at SBX 62, the IS-2 Guards Heavy Tank Company, an all-plastic kit by Battlefront Miniatures for the Flames of War World War II Miniatures game. This box set contains 5 vehicles and retails for $45 US. And as you can see on the front, you have both variants that you get in this kit, the IS-85s and the IS-2 modeled on the front, with the Soviet flag in the lower left letting you know which nation these tanks are for, as well as the late war logo in the bottom right denoting which time period these tanks will work in. Let's go right ahead and flip over the box and take a look at the back. On the back you have that wonderful red all plastic logo, which I am loving. The contents of the box showing you that you can make 5 IS-2s or 5 IS-85s. Contains a decal sheet and 6 unit cards. The back also shows you the assembly instructions to make both variant tanks, which again I think is a great addition to the new box sets, saving Battlefront money and the worry of packaging assembly instructions separately in the box. Let's go right ahead and open the box and take a look inside. You get 5 of the main tank sprue, which shows you 2 different hull variants, one for essentially mid-war, and then there's, I believe, also the 1944 variant. Gives you the turret, an open and closed cupola, your gun mantlets for both gun variants, your rear machine gun, your turret peg, and both gun barrels. This is an older kit, but again, it stands the test of time and the tank's not going to change. So as long as the details are there, this kit can last forever, which is nice about plastic. Let's go right ahead and take a look at the other sprue. The other sprue that you get is basically the generic sprue for the ISU tanks and the IS tanks. Gives you the track assembly, the fuel drums, some ammo boxes, a couple of machine guns, which is always nice, and some track links to be able to mount on the front of your vehicle, and then the lower part of the hull. Not a lot of pieces to this kit, and hopefully it'll be a dream to assemble. Let's go right ahead and take a look at those tank commanders. Here is that common tank commander sprue that you will see in any Soviet tank product review that I do. There's 6 different sculpts, giving you a nice variety to build in your army. Let's go ahead and take a look at the decal sheet. With the IS-2s and the IS-85s being part of the Guards divisions, you get a nice decal sheet with the Guards icon, some other symbols that you can put on the vehicle, tank designations, and that Soviet red star. Decals are always a great addition to a box set. Let's go right ahead and take a look at the unit cards and compare and contrast the IS-2 versus the IS-85. Taking a look at the data cards, you will see that the motivation, skill, and to hit on ratings are all the same. The armor ratings, the front of 10, side and rear of 8, and top of 2 are the same. And the movement values for the tank are the same, with the exception of the cross rating. If you notice, the IS-2 has a 3+ cross, IS-85 has a 2+ cross. The IS-85 is a little bit easier to maneuver in terrain. The big difference that comes into play is their guns. The IS-2 mounting the 122mm gun has a 28-inch range and that rate of fire of 1 both halted and moving, but it has a nasty anti-tank rating of 14 with a 2+ firepower. Again, being that big gun and that slow firing, special rule added onto it gives it that +1 to hit when it moves. The IS-85 on the other hand, with mounting the 85mm gun, has the same range at 28 inches, rate of fire 2 when it's halted, moving rate of fire 1 with an anti-tank 12 and a 3+ firepower. The other difference in the vehicles is that the IS-2 is armed with slightly more machine gun capability than the IS-85. So let's go ahead and take a look at the points and see what the big differences are. The interesting thing that you'll notice is the IS-2s come in cheaper point-wise than the IS-85s, even though it mounts a nastier gun, but that rate of fire of 1, along with the slow firing, keeps its point costs down. So for any player, you really have to decide on what function you want the IS tank to play on the battlefield. Having the extra machine guns, it's great infantry support as your infantry move forward and packs a wallop if any tanks come in to try to counterattack your infantry. Whereas the Su-85 is probably a better, well-rounded vehicle, giving you that rate of fire 2 against those medium tanks, but also sporting some machine gun fire to keep off those nasty infantry. Here's an example of an IS-2 assembled. This was a very easy kit to put together. I put a few of the ammo boxes in the front, which kind of block one of the vision slits and the whole machine gun, but it looks cool. So as most people say on the internet nowadays, the rule of cool. There is that rear machine gun that's a little fiddly to work with. And then, of course, you have those very iconic fuel drums. This is going to be a wonderful model to paint. It's got lots of different panel lines and rivets and things to dry brush over. I think it'll be great. And just be careful when you're gluing that hatch in and making sure that it points in the right direction. Again, can't wait to get this painted up and into my army. For a store, the IS tanks aren't very common in most lists, although they're a great support choice and you can field them as a formation. But the points costs make them prohibitive to field a bunch on the tabletop. So for that reason, as a store, I would probably carry one box of these and restock as needed. Overall, it's a great kit, but I would also want to make sure as a retail store that these items are selling and turning on a consistent basis without having too much inventory in my store. I hope you enjoyed my product review. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and don't forget, keep a watchful eye on the hobby. Thanks again for watching, and take care.